And then finally, on this edition of 2-5 Daily, we are going to talk a little about the association. I don't understand why we do the things that we do. I don't understand why teams do the things they do. So the Milwaukee Bucks have decided to fire head coach Adrian Griffin after 43 games, which is less than what David Black got in his season in Cleveland. I mean, he's close to a year and a half, but when he got fired into the second season, it was after 50 games at least. So they didn't even let Adrian get to the All-Star break, which is wild considering that they're 30-13 right now. Now, they just fired Mike Budenholzer this past offseason, 263 and 119 as their coach, NBA championship, just what, 5 years ago? As I look at it, it makes me question the Milwaukee Bucks organization more than I question these coaches. They fired Mike Budenholzer after losing in the first round to the Miami Heat last year. I get it. Championship aspirations. You lost in the first round to the 8 seed. And oh, by the way, that 8 seed went on to go to the NBA Finals, right? But also in that series that you lost to them, Giannis was injured and missed the game. You had back-to-back 16-point fourth quarter leads that you blew. So I understand being upset at the coach, feeling that the coach didn't do his job. But I also remember a play in Game 5 where Chris Middleton got the inbound pass through it to Giannis, and Giannis played hot potato because he didn't want to shoot the free throws. But this is the NBA where we hold the coaches accountable, but not the players. Right? So Giannis, a.k.a. Giannis Antetokounmpo, was the one that went out and wanted Adrian Griffin in the first place this past offseason. That's why Milwaukee hired him, because he was the guy that their guy identified as his target, right? They come into the season, they trade Captain Drew Holiday away for Damian Lillard. And as I look at this, I know all you NBA fans out there, y'all love offense, right? Dame averages this and Dame shoots that. But sometimes you need a little defense too. So who didn't expect the Bucks defense to get worse after losing the captain? But how bad is it, you ask? So, they're bottom of the league just about in defensive rating. They're 16th in defensive field goal percentage. They are fourth against the three. But the reason why they're probably fourth against the three is because they're 25th in paint defense. Now, riddle me this. I told you that I expected their defense to get worse with Drew Holiday gone. But you still got Giannis. You still got Brook Lopez. And you're 25th in the paint on defense. Now, what didn't look good was Bobby Portis coming out a couple of months ago asking and screaming for leadership. First of all, keep that in the locker room, Bobby. But he came public with that. And obviously, people started questioning Adrian Griffin. It wasn't just that, but people started questioning him. Ever since New Year's passed, there had been rumors that he was going to be not long for this job. But I don't think any of us necessarily thought it was going to happen right now. Along with that, did he piss off Dame Lillard? Because remember, one of the first stories that came out of training camp was about him screaming at Dame's former coach, Terry Stotts from Portland. And Terry Stotts ended up resigning. So maybe it just got off to a bad start. Maybe Giannis and the gang are just good enough that they could go 30-13 in spite of their head coach. But it begs the question, why hire him in the first place? Just because Giannis wanted him? You had Doc Rivers as a consultant, and now suddenly Doc Rivers, like the same day that you fire your head coach, Doc Rivers is the answer. The same Doc Rivers where you think that your championship was long ago, 5 years ago. How about you try 16 years ago when the Celtics, the Boston Three Party, won their one and only title, even though they will have you believe they won 4. Doc Rivers is the answer. The same Doc Rivers that couldn't make a conference finals with Joel Embiid and James Harden, along with Maxey and Tobias Harris. The same Doc Rivers who couldn't get to the Eastern Conference Finals with Embiid and Ben Simmons, who couldn't get Ben Simmons to take a layup against the Hawks. This is your answer? Maybe you're a good team that is not championship caliber. Second in the East right now. But as we look back at their title that they won, back when, as I like to call him, Chris Middle of the Pac-10 was a little healthy and he was the Batman of the team closing out the games. Now he hasn't been so great coming off of injuries and everything. But as I look at this now, did Milwaukee only win a title because Kevin Durant's shoe was too big? So I understand wanting the veteran coach, Doc Rivers. I understand it. Not necessarily Doc Rivers, but the veteran coach that can maybe galvanize, that can maybe motivate. I get it. But unless Doc going to get out on the court and play some defense, it doesn't really matter.